This video is brought to you by Redneck Engineer, custom-built gaming PCs and parts for an affordable price. Use code joshscorcher at checkout for a 5% discount. And make sure you don't have any coupon clipping extensions like Honey installed or I don't get my commission. Thank you!
It's me, Mario!
Another theme month winding down, and since we started with a whimper with worst games, let's wrap things up with a bang with the best. Pretty straightforward here. Which games really highlighted Mario's star power? Which titles stood out in the best way when they tried something new? Now, as I previously mentioned, the Mario franchise is freaking huge. Sports, parties, karts, wonders, there's a reason it's Nintendo's flagship series. So I kinda had to limit it to titles that actually have Mario as a prominent figure. Sadly, that means poor Luigi's Mansion has to sit this one out. Tropical vacation from the typical Mario formula, Super Mario Sunshine is divisive among fans of the series even 23 years after its release. Wait, I'm sorry, how long? I hope you like politics, because on this lovely vacation to Isle Delfino, Mario goes to prison without a fair trial and is sentenced to obscene quantities of geographic housekeeping using a glorified squirt gun made by a mentor figure from Luigi's Mansion who has a debatable monopoly on both sides of the problem. Yeah, are we ever going to follow up on this? Yeah, and it's all voice acted. All of it.
What's this icky paint-like goop? It's moving!
Meet Flood, the fresh, liquidizing, ultra-dowsing device. Whether you're a masochist or not, you gotta admit, the Drog Fella is stupid fun. Spending an hour or two hovering around Delfino Plaza for no reason is one of the most pointless fun you can have. I would have said Flood controls well, but ugh, that's only a true statement when the game is in a good mood. It is Russian roulette for early GameCube programming. Flood is, for better or worse, definitely not the only glitch in the system. The game was rushed after a long hiatus from Mario 64's release. Plans changed with development. I guess the GameCube had the power to let 128 Marios play recess together, but not powerful enough for consistent floors. Sunshine without substantial amounts of jank would be like Zelda 2 without brain-blending difficulty. It would honestly lose a bit of its identity. It's a janky game, but it's our janky game. There's something just charming about the underdeveloped aspects of Sunshine. Still, it's at the bottom because its charm can't always redeem it from the bugs and unholy difficulty, especially not in a franchise gleaming with polished champions. It's really overhated, and I can't blame the Sunshine fans for being a bit sick of it. In any case, scratching the top 10 in the Hall of Champions is a shining accomplishment. Do you have a healthy relationship with your friend circle? Do you want them to see your bad side so they'll find a reason to hate and spite you and vice versa? Then welcome to Mario Party, a series for all your friendship-killing needs. There's a lot to pick from between 1's lack of game balance, 2's battle minigames, 6's gargantuan star monopoly, or Jamboree's evil buddy mechanic. But you want the ideal package that can give you a little bit of everything, both good and bad? Look no further than 3. While not as technically impressive as some others, it nailed a lot of the stuff you'll want in your chaotic party game. From boards that are designed to help you piss off your enemies, to minigames that range from tons of fun to gloriously luck-based. You game guy, you better watch or you sleep. Not to mention the exclusive duel mode that's sure to keep you in circles with a cast of colorful minions to drag around. On top of everything, what elevates 3 so far up compared to others is the items. Not only can you carry 3 of them, but there's a massive variety to work with. Changing star positions, preventing Boo from stealing your stuff, extending turns, swapping items, and best of all, going backward. That last one may not sound all that impressive, but trust me, it breaks the game. Especially if you're right next to Boo.
Hey there, Sunshine! Good morning, Sunshine!
Custom dice to chance time ain't got nothing on this. Considering the luck aspect of most Mario parties, it's cool to see how much 3 rewards playing strategically. Even if minigames don't get you far, these items are complex enough to help you clutch your games. That alone makes it worthy of being considered the best, on top of everything else it's got. Let's not kid ourselves. We owe everything to Mario 1. We wouldn't have this gaming industry without it, for better or for worse. It's only fair that we get a sequel that gives us more of this, but better. Not that one. Get that out of here! Thank you! Mario 3 was the sequel to the original Mario formula we needed. A return to the enemy-stomping gameplay, coupled with introducing staples such as overworlds, pocketable items, and many soon-to-be iconic foes. We even got the new power-ups such as the P-Switch and the Leaf, aka Mario's Furry Awakening. If this were made nowadays, it'd be called Mario X3. The game goes up a dozen notches when the flag is traded out for cards, which gives you an extra life for every 3 you get, making the experience of beating each level more rewarding. The designs of new worlds are great, there are more levels per world, and there's actually a story beyond, I got to save the princess. No more getting to the end of Bowser's Castle only to be told we're in the wrong one. That really does wonders for my self-esteem. Really, Mario 3 is just Mario 1, but more. It's everything that a sequel to a popular game franchise should do. Remind you what made the original so good while expanding on the world and gameplay. I want you to keep in mind, we're still on the NES at this point. The improvements would only continue once we got to Mario World on the SNES 2 years later. And now we wait for the fans to start a flame war over which one is better. Give me a best shot!
Let the flame wars begin!
Back in the earlier days of the internet, Mario ROM hacks were all the rage. Everyone wanted to try their hand at making their own Mario levels, and the results were creative to say the least, if not hair-pullingly difficult.
Move faster, Pokey!
There was definitely a market for custom Mario levels, and it was only natural that Nintendo would sniff it out and cash in. Enter Super Mario Maker 2. We're putting the sequel on this list because it's Mario Maker, but just better. The game's appeal is surprisingly simple. It lets you create and share Mario levels. The wellspring of creativity that this game fostered is insane. The types of levels people have made with just these tools varies from simple platformers to gimmick levels exploiting programming quirks to making entirely new challenges you never see in any other Mario game. Like, say, killing you if you touch a coin or jump. The sky's the limit with Mario Maker. People have proved that. It's less a game and more like a developer tool packaged as a game. It's hard to judge it on its own merits because a lot of its content is user-generated. But as a tool for experimentation and creativity, it's commendable for just how easy it is to hop into the game and start making your own levels. It also made it easier for those kind of people to make troll maps and horrifically difficult levels just for kicks. It's just the price that comes with freedom, you know? You give people an inch, they will take a mile. The Mario Kart series has been a Nintendo staple since the SNES. Putting all your favorite Mario characters in the format of a racing game? Easy win! But the physics from some of the past Mario Kart games like 64 and Wii are pretty flimsy in hindsight. But you know what they say, 8th time's the charm. Wait, do people say that? I don't know. Mario Kart 8! First appearing on the Wii U back in 2014, Mario Kart 8 was basically Mario Kart in its final form. The manual drifting is now the only drifting mode, the way you don't end up breaking your controller over that freaking auto drift in Wii. This version of Mario Kart puts the control back into the controller. Heck, even if you do fall off the track, it doesn't take a millennia for Lakitu to pick you back up and put you on. You also have fully customizable karts and bikes. Not only can you choose the type of vehicle, but you can also choose which tires you want, which glider you want. Top of all that, Mario Kart 8 gave itself more content than any other Mario Kart game before. The DLC added racers and theme tracks from games other than Mario. But all these new features were also on a game stuck on a failing console. Nintendo decided, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and released a deluxe version of Mario Kart 8 for the Switch. And this version gave us an actual battle mode. No more trying to throw shells at your opponents on N64 Toad's Turnpike and failing horribly. On top of that, we got even more tracks thanks to the Booster Course Pack. They even added tracks from Mario Kart Tour. You heard me, Mario Kart Tour. And they are so much better than playing on a mobile phone, let me tell you. Mario Kart 8 was an immense improvement from the Mario Kart games released prior. Even with Mario Kart World now expanding even further on the original concept of the game, this iteration had staying power for over a decade, and arguably still hasn't lost its relevancy. Say what you will about World, but you can't make Isabelle from Animal Crossing drive in a tiny cart with oversized wheels now, can you? Can you? I don't know. The game isn't out at the time of writing this entry. Editor, put something in confirming or denying this before the comments crucify me.
No, you cannot.
Super Mario RPG. Find 7 stars isometrically. Milo, Geno, Peach, Bowser, and Mario. Launch from a castle that's pierced by a sword. Oh, fighting weapons, Geno Cannon, Star MacGuffin. There's a remake, better graphics, harder bosses, Dengu Coolix, Diamond Crystal. I'll stop singing. The first of its kind, Super Mario RPG began a trend of terrific story-driven turn-based games within the Mario franchise. Squeenix and Nintendo? An unlikely combination that just might surprise you. You're in for a treat when the game starts off by throwing a giant sword into your average Mario vs. Bowser formula. The culprit? A band of living weapons called the Smithy Gang. If you want some of the best naming schemes and portmanteaus in the entire franchise, look up these names. It's magically punny. You battle foes both old and new, with the new enemies mostly being completely contained to this game, and a few others inspired by Final Fantasy. Bouncing on Goombas? Ha! It's an RPG, son! Mario and company take turns against the enemies, complete with an equipping system and even a few action commands. Yeah, these aren't quite as in-depth or visual as the first 2 Paper Mario games or Mario & Luigi titles, but they still add some extra spice to this endeavor. Magic classes? I think so. Mario deals damage with powerful jumps and fire magic. Peach is the healer and specializes in defense. Mallow controls the weather. Bowser's the brute of physical moves. And Geno is a mage to be reckoned with. The kicker is you can only have 3 of them out at a time. Once you have all 5 party members, it's up to you to strategize and pick your battles. Haha. As for the music, it's good old Yoko Shimomura. You know, who did Mario & Luigi 2 and Kingdom Hearts. These spin-offs really love their JRPG composers. The remake is a bit easier than the original. No surprise these days. But both games know how to challenge you. Oh, trust me, they do. A lot of these story twists and special mechanics might not be as shockingly novel these days, but you have to remember, this was the game that pioneered it all, and it still holds up. Back then, there wasn't really in-depth dialogue in a Mario game or an equipping system. There was the first time for everything, and what a great first time it was. Although its contemporaries tend to shine a little brighter. More on that later. Legend of the 7 Stars of Paper Mario proved that Mario could dip his toes into the RPG genre and come out strong. Now, imagine a sequel to the latter that takes an already great game with already brilliant aesthetics and makes it better. The 1,000-Year Door, the second chapter in the Paper Mario games that really sets the bar. The story starts out simple enough. This time, our enemy isn't the resident Koopa King, but a new band of baddies called the X-Nauts. We'll need to squad up with a plethora of allies both old and new and collect the crystal stars to unlock the mysterious 1,000-Year Door. But you do not yet know what lies beyond the door. From Kingdom Hearts 1. Throw that in there. Almost instantly, 1,000-Year Door became a cult classic, everyone calling it Mario RPGing at its peak. Already the aesthetics are breathtaking, yet still feels natural to us without relying too much on the papery gimmick. Unless you count Mario basically origamiing himself into a paper airplane or boat. The combat system is also much better handled than its predecessor, with advanced action commands, super guards, and the ability to level up your BP as much as you want. The badge variety, coupled with the interchangeable characters, makes this game feel a lot more personal for the player. Both partners and villains were very memorable, even when compared to OG Paper Mario. Well, the OG villain was Bowser, so I guess one-and-done villains were more memorable. Seriously, I already mentioned how much I liked Lord Crump, and dang the Shadow Queen! Continuing the tradition of Superstar Saga of introducing more original and darker villains, the Shadow Queen brought her A-game. A legitimate demon trapped behind a door who uses Peach as a vessel. That's some new territory for the franchise that made the story even more compelling. But yes, there are issues, namely the backtracking in chapters 4 and 7. Running back and forth the creepy steeple and going to every single frickin' area to find General White is not a funny joke. Thankfully, the Switch remake made this tedium a bit more palatable by including way more accessible warp pipes to cut down the backtracking. Suffice to say, said remake is also another gold standard on how reworking a game should be, honoring everything that made the OG great and fine-tuning what needed a polish. If they can keep up this quality the 1,000-Year Door Switch port made, I'm fairly optimistic if they ever do another Paper Mario game again. Showtime! We already used this cool opening bit last countdown. We gotta do something else this time.
Let's go!
Okie dokie.
Mario and Luigi are the pinnacle of charm, and for many, they're the cream of the crop of Mario's spin-offs. Can't say I'm going against the grain here because, come on, have you played these games? They got style, they got story, they got Yoko Shimomura making banger after banger. And the king of the ball is the one where you can play as the king himself, Bowser's Inside Story. The game's reputation absolutely precedes it. Inside Story is a legendary game that dials up everything the other RPGs do well to 11. It starts, mind you, with a plague ravaging the Mushroom Kingdom, threatening both the good guys and Bowser, and hits the fan real fast as Fawful takes center stage as the villain.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
What follows is non-stop action and adventure as you don't just control the bros, but Bowser as well. Bowser feels powerful, way more powerful than the bros, and plays entirely differently. Whereas with the bros, you're manipulating different parts of Bowser's body to affect him and platforming around the world, Bowser takes a much more forward approach of punch enemy, enemy die, good job, and it is satisfying. Speaking of which, how about those giant battles? Huge spectacle fights where Bowser grows into a kaiju and rips apart giant foes that are usually more building than person. You get to control this. Enjoy. And as mentioned before, the story takes things to a whole new level. The game feels high stakes as everything in the Mushroom Kingdom is threatened by Fawful. The final boss, I don't even have to explain it. Just listen to this song. Bowser's Inside Story more than deserves credit for being the best the Mario RPGs have to offer. There's a reason one of my fellow countdown artists themed his entire persona around the game.
Bowser's Inside Story mentioned. Where?
Already finished the segment, it got number 3.
And not number 1.
My list, Angie Bean Man. My list.
This sucks. I better be getting paid for these cameos.
After Mario's blandification era in the early 2010s, we don't really see the series go above and beyond with making a splash like it used to. Even if 3D World was well celebrated, it's not quite the gaming cornerstone that other Mario games were, especially not on the slowly dying Wii U.
Look at him suffer!
Then comes the Switch in 2017. With a brand new console, at the time, came a brand new start. But rather than copying 3D Land or New Super Mario Bros. For the umpteenth time, we're treated to this. Odyssey is Nintendo's tried and true attempt at turning Mario's 3D adventures into a spectacle. The worlds in this game are as beautiful as they are massive. It goes all in with making every environment feel lively and fun to traverse. It may not be traveling through the cosmos, but the variety and detail we get are still phenomenal. You gotta love that this game isn't afraid to introduce new locales into each world as well, on top of a lot of fun designs and quirks. Also, these monitors are adorable and I want to squeeze them. So outside of the surface level stuff, what content are we treated with in these huge worlds? On top of solid platforming and stylistic 2D segments, we get the power of possession. Oh, heck yeah, Mario got the best lessons from Kakaleta, didn't he? Each capture has a unique mechanic on top of the levels being designed after them. But that's not all Cappy can do for you. You can even bounce off of him to create some sick combos that you sequence break if you want. Don't worry, unlike Sonic Boom, this is 100% intentional and actively rewards you for honing your skills. Top of all that, the game just feels so good to play. It nails the game feel with solid levels, an amazing soundtrack, and a well-dramatized take on Mario saving Peach with a surprisingly neat ending for the series. Sure, there are still gonna be some frustrating and tedious moments, but what big game doesn't have those? Every epic has its ups and downs, and Odyssey balanced both sides to really capture the vibe of that journey. It's the fresh yet faithful experience we wanted from Mario in all these years. If a future 3D Mario could go even bigger than this, then that's a surprise I'd be all for. Super Mario World SNES, the other 2D Mario everyone likes. Super Mario Wonder, Switch. Everyone clowns on the element thing while missing out on a genuinely fun and unique game. Play it. Seriously. Mario 64/DS. The original pioneered Mario's transition to 3D, and the DS remake did a decent job recapturing the magic. Shut up, I like it. Paper Mario N64, a playable storybook in the best way possible. Partners in Time, DS. the one RPG to be confirmed canon. Why? Baby Peach. Mario Tennis, Game Boy Color. It has mini-games, unique mechanics, and an RPG campaign on Game Boy. Mario Strikers Charged, Wii. Take notes, Act Zero. This is how you make family-friendly characters edgy. Mario Party 6, GameCube. Fair Square, enough said. Mario Party Jamboree, Switched. 7 rich boards and a ton of rich game modes. Minigame variety suffers a bit, though. Mario Kart Double Dash, GameCube. I miss freeloading off my drivers. In 2000, Nintendo made a tech demo to show off the GameCube's processing power. Suddenly, inspiration struck. Circles!
Hey man, are you the math guy? Go away, I'm drawing circles.
How would Mario look traversing a spherical platform? There were naysayers thinking it couldn't be done, but game designer Yoshiaki Koizumi didn't give up on his vision. And in 2007, after some trial and error,
Super Mario Galaxy!
his perseverance paid off. After arguably one of the best opening sequences in the franchise, Mario finds himself lost in space, only to be found by the mysterious Rosalina and her family of Lumas. With his new star spin abilities, he must journey across the galaxies, collect the power stars to restore Rosalina's observatory, and once again defeat Bowser and save the princess. Already off the bat, Super Mario Galaxy slaps hard aesthetics-wise. That cinematic opening sequence was just a small sample of what was to come. The colors and visuals are vibrant and immersive, and the music is pure ear candy. 28 songs performed by a 50-person symphony orchestra. There's not a Mario score that's more talked about than this one. The motion control utilized the remote just enough to make it useful, but not gimmicky. The physics is smoothly handled, so it feels both unique and familiar. I think Koizumi had the right idea about spherical platforms. Oh, and the ending? Pure insanity. Right from the start, the final fight against Bowser still gives me goosebumps. Every phase of the brawl raises the tension as you're forced to think on your feet to beat the king. Also, the very ending kind of broke the franchise's power scaling forever. Both Mario and Bowser survived a black hole. What the hell? There might be some discourse over this, but Galaxy feels more like a truer successor to 64 than Sunshine.
Did I ever tell you you're like the son I never had?
Really, sir?
Yes, it's because you're so unlike the son that I did have.
Now here's the thing, I still love Sunshine, but the N64 was renowned for its huge variety of puzzles and challenges.
Yo, what's up?
Sunshine came close, but I think Galaxy pulled it off just a little better. Not to mention, much less repetitive. Out of all the Mario games on this list, Super Mario Galaxy was the one that made me the happiest. Everything about it just filled me with a sense of childlike wonder. The soundtrack is arguably the best in the series, instilling a sense of listening to a story from your childhood, and gameplay and physics that are just so much fun to experiment with. Not to mention, it introduced Rosalina and the Observatory, both still prominent figures in the franchise to this day, and she's honestly become one of my favorite characters. Yes, I still feel like the second game wasn't necessary, but considering the impact the first game left, I can never say no to more Galaxy. I'm Josh Scorcher, and that concludes Mario Month. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for whatever we choose to make in the future.
Cut!